Hey everybody, how you doing? It is August 13th, 2020. It's about 8:20 p.m. here in northern Michigan. Things are quiet here, but as we all know, things are not quiet everywhere. And one of my subscribers had just told me that there was a really bad fire that had just started out in California. And sure enough, there is. They're going after another area, okay? Tons of homes are being evacuated, and it looks like there's already damage to plenty of of things. So let's get into this real quick. It says Southern California wildfire forces evacuation of hundreds of homes. Los Angeles, a California wildfire forced the evacuation of hundreds of homes as it raged largely unchecked through densely forested mountains north of Los Angeles that last burned some 50 to 100 years ago, fire officials said on Thursday. Real quick, why would it rage largely unchecked? I don't understand that. Even if it's in the middle of the woods, if it was burning, wouldn't it be people would be paying attention to it, you would think. Look at that. You just start seeing scenes like this, it just instantly takes you right back to, Paradise and the other fires that happened there. And look at this this hole right here in that tree. I think it is. Might be a telephone pole. I don't know. It just looks really, really odd right there. Probably nothing, but it just looks odd. Let's keep reading. It says the blaze has scorched some 10,500 acres since erupting Wednesday afternoon near Lake Hughes in the Angeles National Forest. As of Thursday afternoon, it remained at 0% contained, despite a light morning rain over the area, U.S. Forest Service spokesman Andrew Mitchell says temperatures in the region were expected to rise above 100 degrees Fahrenheit later in the day, he said. We're going to get into this too because they're also using that heat and talking about the power is going to start going out. Not from them, from the heat being so hot. Okay, but we'll get into that in a second. I want to keep going with this. It says, this will be a major fire for several days. It's just always like they know... Like, it's always just done on a plan, How do you know that? Yes, it's going to be a major fire for several days, but shouldn't you be trying to not allow that to happen? Or at least be out there trying to stop this? The precise cause of the blaze, dubbed the lake fire, was under investigation, though human activity was likely to blame, Mitchell said. Yeah, I bet you it was likely to blame. You know what else I heard, or made me think of? It says, right, dubbed the lake fire, the lake of fire, right? With everything that's going on with the battle of good versus evil, first fire out here was the apple fire, and I instantly just thought of, the apple in the Garden of Eden, kidding, the evil got it to take the bite, etc. You know the rest of the story. Well, now you have this one called the lake fire, and yes, they're always just named after something close to it, or whatever it is, but I know they like to use the words like that, so that just stood out to me. It says no casualties were reported, but the blaze prompted the mandatory evacuation of some 500 homes in communities about 40 miles north of downtown Los Angeles, Mitchell said. Thick, extremely dry vegetation, some of which has not burned in about a century, was fueling the flames that roared swiftly up steep canyons and hillsides. LA County Fire Chief Darrell Osby said the fire had destroyed several structures, though many were saved because of the actions of the firefighters last night, who were up all night. These firefighters are unbelievably amazing at what they do, putting their lives in risk, and now we know what they're dealing with, Not saying we know like what they're going through, but we know they're dealing with technology now that, these fires are hitting everywhere because we know directed energy is involved, so they could get trapped at any time with the way they're pushing these fires. Says the Angeles National Forest, covering some 700,000 acres, is a popular outdoor destination for millions who live in the sprawling LA metropolitan area on its southern flanks. In drought-stricken Colorado, the Grizzly Creek fire, burning near Glenwood Springs about 150 miles west of Denver, has blackened 6,251 acres, according to the Rocky Mountain Area Coordination Center. The blaze forced officials to close 25-mile stretch of Interstate 70, the main east-west highway through the mountain corridor. Firefighters had zero containment, and flames threatened a power plant and some residential subdivisions, authorities said. See, that's how they left. That's the last part of that article, right? And it says right there just the same thing, zero containment. But this, what is it threatening? Again, the power plant. Okay? Man, I just cannot stress the feeling I keep getting inside that these things are just getting, ramping up more and more and more and more, and it just feels like every day I say that again, and it's like, how can you wake up each day and think it's getting worse or think they're getting closer to their end goal? But I just feel that, and I see it in all these different things. Okay, look how they're talking about that's going to threaten a power plant there, okay? And then here is what I was talking about the power going out. It says California, this is from the 12th, so yesterday. California will sizzle this weekend, raising specter of outages. It says California will face some of the year's hottest weather starting this weekend, which will likely tax its electric grid. An excessive heat watch reaches from Oregon to Arizona, covering a large part of the central and coastal California. According to the National Weather Service, temperatures could reach into the 100 degrees Fahrenheit across much of the central California and reach into the 90s in LA. Says they are going to have a huge power demand right across the grid, and they may need to go with rolling blackouts. I'm telling you, this is the new thing. You're going to have to deal with this, so we need to prepare. Share this information, because I don't care where you're at now. It looks like they are going to be taking out your power here and there, whether that's running tests, putting up new infrastructure for FIVEG, or just, who knows, just because they need to burn out an area due to, the railway that's going in. I mean, I bet you if I'll try to look into a little bit more tonight, but we'll look at these fires and we'll see if they line up with where they're putting these railways like they have the whole time before. So we'll check that out too, But it says, all major urban centers in California are going to have intense heat waves, conditions unbatted right through the weekend into next week. So they're saying that it's just going to keep going. In anticipation of the heat wave, the state's main grid operator has called for restricted maintenance on power plants and high voltage transmission lines to ensure they're available as temperature rises. Okay, another thing one of my subscribers said too was amazing, and I will go and check the name so that I can tell them thank you, because it was so true. They remember how during all of the Paradise fires, they said that they were all caused by the trees, right, falling onto the power lines, which then sparked, and then there was, these fires all went from that. Well, we just had all these different deratios, and especially take the latest one, the latest deratio that went through extremely hot. There was really hot in Chicago, all through those areas. Okay, it was warm, and we didn't have any fires. We didn't have any massive wildfires due to more trees falling than ever before. I mean, think about the storms that have hit. Think about how many trees fell onto power lines, okay? And their story was that that's what caused it out in California, right? Well, that was a great point brought up by my subscriber saying that, that kind of proves the point that they are just, we know they're lying, but there's another, we should have had massive fires everywhere. Think about it. All the ones I just showed you, all the ratios, all the trees down, all the power lines down, there should have been fires somewhere, right? Yeah, there wasn't. Says at the end, the grid operator can take a number of steps to minimize the risk of planned power outages, including asking customers to conserve electricity during the hottest period of the day. It hasn't had to intentionally cut power due to excess demand since 2001 during the state's energy crisis, according to California ISO data. The heat is being pushed along by the Sonoran High, a dome of high pressure across the southwest that is keeping temperatures hot and preventing the cooling effects of the region monsoon to take hold. No, that's not true. Yeah, it's by a high pressure dome, but it's because of your weather warfare, your weather manipulation, modification. That is what is causing this to happen. I will leave the links in the description. I'm going to leave it here. I want to try to look up some more information of everything that's going on with this, and I'll try to get that information out to you tomorrow. I hope everybody has a great night. If you have anybody that are in these areas, anywhere, I mean, I've been saying it for years, if you're in California, get out if you can. It just seems like that is the one state that is going to continue to get hit the hardest, So if you can, leave. If you can't, I understand. Not everybody can just up and leave. I can't. I've been wanting to get away from, where we live for a long time. We have a antenna, a massive, tower right across from us. I mean, actually, it's right in front of me while I'm recording. So, We all would like to get out of certain areas, but if you can't, just make a plan. Try to make a plan. Try to stay ahead of this. Pay attention as much as you can with these, because the last thing you need is one of these fires sneaking up on you in the middle of the night and you not having a bag packed, not having, some way to get out of the situation. So that's why I continue to stress these seasons of all these disasters, please be prepared. They're going to use CV as an excuse for so many reasons why they cannot help you. So you need to help yourself, okay? They are coming after us with these disasters, so please be prepared. Continue to pray against all of this just pure evil you see coming out, this pure just, evil gripping onto so many spots. Just continue to pray against it, and I know we will continue to save lives, because if you tell one person that tells somebody that tells somebody, that one person may leave their computer on that night, or they may, pull up the weather that night and see that there is a wildfire coming right at them, or a storm coming right at them, and that may save lives. I love you all. We'll talk to you soon. God bless.